There are people whose entire job is to sit in a vehicle on the floor of this crater from before sunrise until after dark, writing down what the predators do. They have been doing it, in one form or another, for 60 years. The week I'm about to describe is the kind of week that ends up in those notebooks with the handwriting getting worse. 7 days, first growl to last carcass. By the fourth night, one of the two dominant male lions is dead, killed by animals that are supposed to be afraid of him. By the seventh night, the survivors do something that researchers still can't agree on how to describe. I'm not going to clean it up for you. And on that fourth night, something happens that has no explanation. Not a weak explanation. None. Everything you're about to hear is documented behavior and real field research from one crater in northern Tanzania, put onto a single clock. This is Ngorongoro, and Ngorongoro is the one place on Earth where the lion is not the favorite. Mute everything around you. Put your headphones on. Because for most of this week, the people watching couldn't see anything either. They could only hear it. Start with what they see when the sun comes up. A flat grass floor, 260 square kilometers of it, with walls 600 meters high on every side. An arena the size of a city, fenced by cliffs 2,000 feet tall. Nothing walks out of here in a hurry. Whatever starts inside these walls finishes inside these walls. There's a lake in the middle, and the lake will kill you. Soda water, alkaline enough to burn. So every drinkable drop in this entire crater comes out of a handful of springs along the eastern wall. In a dry year, that's the whole supply. And where water has an owner, something is going to die deciding who that is. On one side of the springs, a pride of 9. Two dominant brothers, Kito and Amari, 4.5 years old, 180 kilos each. 3 grown men of muscle, arriving at 60 kilometers an hour. With them, 6 lionesses, and 6 cubs, 6 months old. Hold on to that number, 6 cubs. It comes back at the end of this video, and you are not going to like how. On the other side, 40 spotted hyenas, under a matriarch the researchers call Nafisa. 8 years old, jaw slightly crooked from an old fight she won. Her second is a heavy female named Zuri. 9 against 40 sounds like a mismatch, and it is. Just not in the direction you're expecting. Because inside this crater, hyenas outnumber lions by roughly 8 to 1. It's the densest population of spotted hyena anywhere on the planet. The lions here have never been the majority. Not once in any year anyone has counted. Day 1, the wrong hour. The first thing that changed wasn't a sound. It was a schedule. At midday in the crater, hyenas are at the den. Heat puts them in the shade, and that rule has held for as long as anyone has been writing this down. On the first day, they weren't in the shade. 4 of them came down the eastern drainage at the hottest hour, moving toward the spring line with their noses up, not hunting. Nothing about the body language says hunting. They were counting. That's the part people get wrong about hyenas. The laughing scavenger from the cartoon doesn't exist. What exists is an animal that surveys before it commits. How many rivals, how far apart, which ones are guarding what? Hans Kruk spent years on this crater floor in the 60s and found that here, the hyenas do most of the killing and the lions do a great deal of the taking. 4 scouts at midday is not an attack, it's an inspection. And somebody was going to receive the report. Day 2, the count. They came back before dawn, 12 of them. And then they did something that looks, to anyone who hasn't watched it before, like an attack that fails. The clan opened into a loose semicircle around the pride at about 40 meters. No charge. Short-clipped barks, spaced out, 1 animal at a time. A step forward, a step back, another step forward. Kito stood up. That was all of it. 1 male lion getting to his feet, and the semicircle came apart. There's an arithmetic underneath that, and it's worth knowing, because the rest of the week runs on it. Against a lioness, hyenas need something in the region of 4 to 1 before they'll commit to pushing her off a kill. Against an adult male lion, the ratio stops working at any number. Play a male's roar to a clan, and they leave. play of females, and they stay and think about it. A male lion is not a bigger lioness. He's a different category of problem. So 12 hyenas withdrew without a scratch on either side. And most people watching would call that a defeat. It wasn't. They didn't leave because they were afraid. They left because they'd finished measuring, and the number they got was 2. 2 males. That was the whole obstacle. Everything that happens over the next 5 days is the clan working on that number. 30 seconds, and then we're back at the spring line. Nothing in this crater survives on its own, and neither does a channel like this one. If you want the next story, subscribing costs you nothing, and it's the only thing that decides whether it gets made. Now, back to the water. Day 3. The bank. For a full day after the semicircle, nothing happened at all. That should have frightened the lions more than the semicircle did. A hyena clan that goes silent hasn't given up. It's redistributing. Spotted hyenas hold a clan together across kilometers of open ground with long whoops that carry individual identity, so a listening animal doesn't just hear that something called. It hears who. Through that quiet day, the whooping around the springs got denser, and it moved. On the third night, Amari took 4 lionesses down to drink. Zuri brought 18 hyenas along the opposite bank, 12 meters of water between them. A roar in this crater doesn't travel away from you. It hits 600 meters of rock on 4 sides and comes back. It arrives twice. And then he crossed. One hyena was slow off the bank. He broke her back before she finished turning, and he did it in a single motion, without stopping. First blood, dark on pale sand, in a place where every animal for 2 kilometers would smell it by morning. The clan pulled off the water, but the thing had changed shape, and both sides knew it. Up until that night, this was an argument about a spring. After it, it was a war with a body in it. Day 4. The window. 2 males holding a territory don't patrol it together. They rotate. One walks the perimeter, one stays with the pride, and then they trade. Which means there is a window, usually shorter than an hour, when exactly 1 male lion is alone. On the 4th night, the clan arrived inside that window. Keto was checking a clearing near the eastern springs when 7 hyenas started giggling behind him. The giggle isn't laughter. It's a signal, and it carries information about the animal making it. In this situation, it does one job, and it does it perfectly. He turned around. Zuri came in from the left flank, low and fast, and she didn't go for the throat. She didn't go for the belly. She went for the hamstring, the tendon, at the back of the hind leg, the single structure that converts a 200-kilo predator into a 200-kilo target. Keto spun into 8 more. Now here is the thing nobody can explain. That night, 40 hyenas did not attack a pride of 9. They attacked the 1 lion who was alone at the 1 hour he was alone, on the 1 night the rotation put him there. Coincidence is the easy answer, and it might even be the right one. But this is not the only time hyenas have appeared to know exactly which lion is standing where. We know they can tell a male roar from a female roar and respond in completely different ways. What nobody has established is whether a clan can track specific individuals across days and hold that as shared information. Nobody has proven they can. Nobody has proven they can't. And the people who spend their lives in that vehicle have opinions they won't put in writing. Day 5. What Amari found. He arrived late. Not because of the distance. Because of the 8 seconds it took him to work out that his brother's sound was not a hunting call. What he found in the clearing wasn't a fight. It was the end of one. Keto was on his side, and the breathing was far too shallow for a body that size. The left hind tendon, the one that had carried every charge and every ambush and every patrol of his adult life, was no longer there. He tried to stand. He got his shoulders off the ground. Only his shoulders. And then he stopped trying. The last sound Amari heard from his brother wasn't a roar. It was a breath going out. After that, the clearing stayed quiet long enough for the hyenas to understand what they had just done. Amari went into them. He killed 2 before the rest broke, and he did it without any of the mechanics a lion normally uses. No stalk, no angle, nothing. They scattered because the lionesses were coming, and for the first time in 4 days, the pride wasn't defending water. Day 6, the debt. Lions sleep 18 hours a day. On the 6th day, they didn't sleep at all. Amari took the front position, which, if you believe the story about lazy males, isn't supposed to happen. It happens constantly. The male is the coalition's weapon, and the weapon was out. They found the clan on a zebra carcass just after first light. There was no approach and no fanning out. Amari hit the feeding line at a flat sprint and had the first hyena by the throat before the clan finished lifting their heads. 7 were down inside the first few minutes, but Nafisa's clan is not built out of cowards. 2 lionesses went down as well. One of them didn't get up. Amari saw her fall, and he couldn't stop to find out. By the time the fighting spread across the open ground, the count had gone from 7 to 11. 11 hyenas on the floor of the crater in under a quarter of an hour. And then there were 2 animals facing each other with nothing in between. The male who had lost his brother, and the matriarch who had taken him. Nafisa knew what the arithmetic said. She called her clan anyway, and the females stacked themselves in front of her, because that is what hyena society does for a ranking matriarch, all the way to the end. Amari went through them. He was bitten repeatedly on the way and reacted to none of it. When Nafisa went down, 40 hyenas stopped being a clan and became 40 animals running in different directions. The lions ate none of them. Every body was left exactly where it fell. That isn't waste. That's the entire message. Day 7. The den. There's no clean version of this. On the 7th night, Amari and 1 lioness followed scent back to the communal den. 6 hyena cubs. The adult females who had stayed behind with them. None of them came out. And this is where the argument starts, because researchers genuinely do not agree on what to call that. One reading is that it's competitor removal, and nothing else. A clan of 40 that rebuilds is a clan that comes back in 18 months, and lions that leave a den intact are lions that will fight the same war twice. Under that reading, it's arithmetic, and the lions had 6 cubs of their own on the line. The same 6 cubs I asked you to hold on to at the start of this video. The other reading is harder to sit with. That the timing, the direction, the fact that they walked past food to get there, points at something the removal argument doesn't cover. I'm not going to tell you which one is right, because the people who watch this crater for a living haven't settled it either. What I can tell you is that the lioness who went down that morning was standing by the end of the week, torn open across the shoulder, moving badly, alive. She was the only good news in 7 days, so Amari won. He won every single engagement after the 4th night. He held the springs, he held the pride, he took the matriarch, and he ended the week with the crater behind him. And here's what nobody tells you about that. The lions of Ngorongoro have never recovered their numbers. They came close to vanishing entirely in the 60s, wiped out by a biting fly outbreak. And the population that grew back came from a very small handful of survivors. Those walls that hold everything in also hold almost everything out. New blood arrives rarely. The hyenas, meanwhile, are still at 8-1. They were at 8-1 before that week, and they were at 8-1 2 years after it. A clan can lose 40 animals and be a clan again. A pride can lose 1 male and stop being a pride. That's the part that makes this crater different, and it's the part the folklore never gets to. The lion wins the fight. He wins nearly every fight. He just can't afford to keep winning them. And the 4th night is still sitting there unanswered. How did the clan know that was the hour? Did they watch the brothers trade positions for days and work out the pattern? Or did 40 animals simply arrive at the right place at the right minute by luck? The research hasn't closed it. It may never close it. But every field team on that crater floor will tell you the same thing off the record, and none of them will publish it. The hyenas always seem to know which lion is standing where. If you got this far, do one thing. Comment one word, lions or hyenas,